Alright, hello guys, we're going to sculpt today live, and I can figure it out. Let's see, should be starting any minute now. Right, the delay is happening, and bam. Alright, now you guys' delay is happening, we're going to sculpt today, we're going to pull this real quick. I'm in ZBrush right now, trying to figure out how I can do this for the Instagram community. So it's none. Basically I went to Lightbox, put out this general spiel here, and I'm going to go with the sculpting on it. We're going to go into our brushes, which is the hotkey B, and we're going to go grab the move brush. We're just going to move this sucker around. Now the move brush will move geometry around. We can take this little small one and we can move it up and we can move it down, and that will change the amount of extremeness with inside the hole. You can think of that as the surface area it's being affected, and the size of the actual brush is being more like its overall effect and strength. And the Z intensity is how strong you want to apply it as on top of that. And we're just going to start moving this around until we have a general shape of a face. I have some project stuff I need to do, but we're going to get to that later on in the week. This is kind of a last minute. I have time to sculpt, so we're going to make time to sculpt. Kind of like sometimes you just have time to paint and you need to paint. Paint. That was me on the last painting I posted up on you. I just finally had the time to do it, so it was like boom. Eventually I'll be able to paint at least once, twice a week on the oil acrylics, assuming that I don't run out of canvases or any other shenanigans. We can always do digitally. I'm eventually going to rearrange this room, and it's going to be really nice for us guys. We're going to have some actual time, some sounding stuff. Alright, so now I'm going to hit Control, which is going to allow me to mask this upper nose area, and I'm just going to mask it, rotate it around. And then we'll clap it like that. Then we're going to hit the square button, and we're going to just move this geometry around. Just move it around. Push up, push down, hit the side scare, and just move it around. Keep bringing out the nose and the general structures of the face, and we're just going to keep walking them. Boom. We're bringing out the torsotory shapes first, or the small forms. You go from small forms to big forms in CGI and in 3D. I'm going to use this clay buildup brush. Now I'm going to enable this little icon up here. That is Sculptris Pro mode, and it allows you to basically endlessly grind through geometry. It just decimates and tessimates, which basically just means it gives you more. You can think of it as sculpting with infinite clay on. That's the best way of looking at it from just a simple bare bones structural. You can get into some issues with the typology, but most of that is really got some really simple quick fixes. If you have that problem, you can honestly just direct message me. We'll look it up online. In a few minutes you'll pretty much figure out the process. It's usually used more towards the later half of the sculpting unless you're doing a concept sculpt. It's not as common. Normally people just do concept illustrations, but some art houses are now, just due to the speed of these digital applications and softwares, are actually having people sculpt them ahead of time, or they're doing concept sculpting for movies and stuff in this program versus doing it in legitimate clay. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, we're going to get this general shape down to the brow and face line up and down here. And we're just moving it around. I'm just trying to get the general proportions of the face down first, and then we move it around. Alright. Now the head does bulge out towards the back, but it doesn't bulge out that much. That's a little extreme, and it's much more of a subtle grind, so we're going to move that around now. Now we're going to get the underside of this jaw, and we're going to push up, push in, and move around a bit more. That's what I think I'm going to do. Now this isn't necessarily a tutorial, but I'm hoping that by at least saying it out loud, you at least learn stuff as I move around as quickly as possible. Here, we're gonna try to get these to keep the face kind of round, which is more important for more feminine faces than it is masculine faces. It's also something that I have a harder time doing. I have a very easy time with the more sharp angles and the more direct angles, but every now and again, just the softness of the shape, it loses me. So we're gonna try not to have it lose me today. I'm gonna puff up these lips a bit more, and I'm just gonna get back to Vulcan Heel for that. I like the nose so far. I think we're gonna bring it down a bit more because it's still off on its proportions by quite a bit. The normal nose is actually much farther than the face than I ever think about when I first start, but that's okay. It's all part of just learning the muscles, learning the anatomy, moving around. If you want to do something more stylized, sometimes making the nose a little bit smaller can actually help with expression. As most of the expression is done within the muscles around the lips and the eyes and the lips, obviously. And so the actual nose is less expressive. So if you want to make a character more expressive, saving some space on the nose can really just help it out quite a bit. Yeah, just removing the parts of the face that don't move as much too. If you want to put the eyes a little bit up towards the eyebrow, you can get really expressive faces that way. No matter what the initial pose or position is. The method I'm using right now with Sculptris Pro mode on and Dynamesh on. I was just checking to see if it is on. I believe it is. Let me see if I can show you where that feature is. You go over to this toolbar feature, guys. If you go over to the toolbar feature and you hit Geometry, and you go down and you hit Dynamesh, you can add this Dynamesh option. What Dynamesh does is every time I click and drag, it moves the geometry around, making it a little bit squarer and a little bit smoother. And then what Sculptris Pro mode does is it actually decimates and tessimates this little wireframe. Technically, it's actually not doing this because ZBrush is weird and it doesn't actually have geometry. That's a whole nother can of worms. It just isn't that important for the average ZBrush user, or at least it shouldn't be, unless you're doing something on the back end, the hardware end. All it really means is that ZBrush performs optimally and can do certain things that other programs can't, such as have just ridiculous high poly counts. If I had this high of a poly count while sculpting in Blender, it would slow me down. So I'd have to redo the typology in the beginning, or I'd have to Dynamesh it. Blender is free, however. I don't know about you guys, but I'm cheap. Free is pretty much the best price out there. ZBrush, on the other hand, ZBrush is expensive. ZBrush is like about $1,000 at this point. They are offering a monthly subscription, but honestly, as far as I'm concerned, the better deal is the one-time purchase, because you don't want to have like Photoshop. A lot of people with Photoshop bought it once, then need to buy it again, and then they're in this endless cycle, and they only really, how often they use it and how often they upgrade it. They don't need it that much. Although Blender's newest updates, ZBrush's newest updates are amazing. Blender's updates are amazing too, but this new bevel brush they added, it's making me question if I need to update or not. And the updates, at least when I bought mine, were free. Not for the life of the program, but for the life of the so many generations out. And so I still get them. It's pretty cool. That new bevel brush looks really cool. Cool. I haven't used it yet, but if there's one thing I wish I could do, is it would be hard surface sculpting. Guns, swords, axes, those sorts of things, and a little bit easier with just the sculpting workflow, because I prefer sculpting workflow to a modeling style workflow, where you're working on the shape more than the actual underlining geometry, because you don't know box modeling is the process of just moving the geometry around. I think sculpting is just easier though for beginners, and it's much more freeing and relaxing. You can really have some fun with it. Minus maybe retypology, which is the phase before it goes into animation. But most of that's done by like sweatshops in like other countries, so you're fine in America. Alright, we're gonna hit P for the pinch brush. What the pinch brush does is it just grabs some and it pinches. I'm gonna pinch up this upper area here, the lower portion of the lip, and then we're gonna just build up the lower parts of the lip. We're just gonna get them in there. Nice and simple. It was between this and programming, and so you can tell that I clearly prefer doing this over programming today, guys. Eventually, I will have video game footage for a video game we'll review on called BT Better Tomorrow, Redcon Story. At least that's what I'm calling the game as of now. It's gonna be pretty. I think you guys are gonna like it. I just need to get to the point where I'm comfortable with showing what I have got down for the game. Anyway, let me get this. I did notice how it's already narrowed out because I built out the jaw. We need to fix that. So we're gonna round out these shapes, starting with the back and just working our way around. We're also gonna bring up this cheekbone just a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. These cheeks out. Alright. Much better. Let's get this just a little more rounded. Oh, there we go. Down these noses. Shape. Bring out the eyebrows a little bit more. They should curve naturally towards the skull. It's just ever so slightly. Same with the some of the muscles around the skull should be protruding out above them. Control the brow line, and we're just gonna get to work with moving those guys around. Sorry, no music this time around, guys. Like I said, spare the moment. If anyone has any classical music or music I can legally get away with playing in the background, just let me know, or I won't get in trouble for it. I think legally I can play anything in the background because I'm recording myself live in the comfort of my own home, but I could be wrong on that. Anyway, I'm just gonna pop this in, down. It's more of a YouTube doesn't want to get in trouble thing. Alright, and we're gonna pull this one down and over and in. I'm gonna start bringing in that nostril area, and we're gonna just grab the clay buildup brush, hit Alt. Whenever you want to cut something in ZBrush, you hit Alt, and it will do the inverse of whatever its normal operation is. And you just move around. Now the way you move around in ZBrush is also Alt. Just grab the screen, rotate, and you hit Alt. Probably should just be more clear about that. Probably should write an introduction script just breaking down the three main things that you need to know about sculpting. Super quick and super easy. You bring them on screen for you guys every time we do this. Both want to both on my YouTube and on my my Instagram and on my other various programs. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of issues with allergies, guys. Let me pull my nose real quick. I hope it's my allergies. I do live in a state where people don't want to get vaccinated or wear fucking masks, so I can understand if you don't believe in the vaccine, you want to wear a mask, it's fine and all, but it's not going away until we fucking do. It's just the honest fact of it now at this point. You guys all have your own wishes, but it's ridiculous that the numbers keep jumping, and then people keep making it like it's a different solution. Especially when there's a lot of fucking old people. Anyway, let's get the cheek and the jawbone done. Probably get from one of you won't hear about that. I don't really care at this point. Anyway, we're gonna bring this out, down and around. We're gonna bring it down. We've already lost there we go. Alright, let's move these lips a little bit more inside. We're gonna start building up some more of the musculature, because right now, as you can see, the jaw does not make any sense. Cheekbones aren't coming into where they need to. The insertions are wrong in the face. But we have the general bone, the landmarks down. Cheekbones, the jaw. Look at this pulsing from the front. I don't like how much that's protruding by comparison to the rest, so we're just gonna slowly build it up a little bit more. There we go. Bring that forward a bit. Alright. We will be doing a 15-minute turnaround video with this exact same one, just so you guys are aware. And that's the one that's going to be linked to ArtStation. This is just going to be me sculpting thing for those of you on YouTube. For those of you on Instagram, it's up as of now. Let's get these cheeks just a little more rounded. I don't like how low down the mandible is on this particular model right now. The lower jaw muscle. So I see some issues with that. So I'm going to grab this move button and I'm going to bring it in more and in more towards the center. As we're going for a softer female face. And so with female faces, on average, the mandible is smaller than the rest of the jaw and more laid back. And so I'm goofing there, but I'm slowly learning how to get around these sorts of things. So we're going to bring that farther back. And we're going to line this up perfectly. Alright, that's getting that rounded look to it. the lips a little bit more. Alright, there's something wrong in this area. I gotta fix it real quick, and I'm not entirely sure where it is. I think it's the lack of smoothness within the general shape transitions, and I think it's the way I've built up the mandible in front of the lips, so I have to bring them out and up a little bit more. Not the mandible, the upper lip area. So I think once I get that fixed and taken care of, it should be a little more smoother and a little more down to earth, a little more accurate. Let me see. All right. Okay, so this video is too square up with the upper push in the face, so I gotta figure out how to fix that. I think part of it is that the jaw doesn't taper in here at the back, which should naturally occur. So I think part of that is when I rounded it out, I removed that aspect. That's slightly better, except for they still need to be puffy. Area. See, we're just getting these subtle shapes down, and that's really what it's all about, guys. You get the subtle shapes into the complicated shapes, and then into it. The only thing I don't like about sculpting is how methodical the shapes can be at times. Alright. Alright, so the top of the head does widen out. It doesn't widen out until about here, so I need to fix that part out. Look at that. Looks so much better now. And it comes up slightly more around the top of the skull. See, we're just adjusting these small features. I do like how smooth that transition is. But I do want just a little bit more smoothness here. I want to pull that from the side because that's really how it should be. It should be from the muscle coming down from the back. And if I did it that way from the beginning, it would have sculpted up the muscles a little more properly. I wouldn't have to go in with the move brush right now. The move brush is my best friend though. You can really get any shape, and I mean any shape, with the move brush and just a little bit of ingenuity. So much so that sometimes when I'm sculpting, I just fantasize that the move brush is already in my hands. Alright, so now I gotta figure out where the ear lies in connection to the jaw, and it's usually dead center is where the ear hole is. So I'm gonna grab the damn standard brush first. I'll lower down this, zoom in, zoom out. It's usually midway between the nose and the back of the head, and I actually see some issues at the back of the head I need to deal with first, if I'm going to deal with that for the proportions of the skull. For one, it does dip down still slightly more than that. But really, the underside of the skull is really more of a giant spear-like shape that hooks into the neck, and then the muscles go around that. Let me just take care of that real quick. And the cranial space should come up slightly at the top because it should be more squaring off at the end of the skull. As the brain goes back around, it ellipses into like a loop. Like you'll see the quotient of the golden radius, whatever it is. You just look at it like you're trying to gain spin, like in JoJo's. It's that same general curved shaped line pattern, except for probably the ratio is off by a little bit. It's probably mostly mumbo jumbo made by artists and people who want to feel extra cool and flaky. I don't know, I'm also one of those people, so I probably shouldn't say it like that, but I've seen the videos where they've pointed out that the contortion isn't as common in nature as a lot of people make it out to, with the Fibonacci spiral. So one architecture video I watched, they made a really ugly house in that video. It was wonderfully fucking ugly. Like, this thing was just hideous. Just terrible. Anyway, I'm gonna hit local. That's gonna make it localized, and then I can bring out the eels this way, and then I can rotate and bring them in, forward, in. Alright, and now I have the general shape of the eel we were looking so much for, except for this back half needs to come out more. And so I'm hitting S to scale, which is the hotkey to do that. And I'm just flattening out the eels from the front, and then I'm going in and I'm dipping them in like so. And I'm just pulling in from the front. And now I'm gonna straighten out just the height of the eels, because the eels should be higher up than that. They should be way higher up than that. Because the earlobe should come to about here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the damn standard brush. And I'm just going to start cutting out the mesh behind the ear. Bringing it down. Bringing it all the way back around the brush. You're going to grab that gizmo again. And we're going to hit local. We're going to bring it up just a bit. Bring it on out. Bring it on up. Bring it on oval. Bring it on down. Alright. And we're going to grab the pinch brush and we're just going to pinch this little low portion down, and we're just going to get this little earlobe into that general section area. Alright. Let's get this taken care of. Okay, I need to fix this earlobe. Oh no, that doesn't my jaw. No, I didn't like what it did to the jaw. I gotta bring up the mandible a bit more. Again, help this area up here. Honestly, the best brush to use for that would actually be the clay buildup brush. They're very low intensity. Yeah. Alright. Now, no, dude, it's math. Just basic fucking math, like this. Let's see. I get some coding done. This one probably won't be turned into a video on Instagram afterwards, I don't think. Probably won't be turned into a video. No, we'll do the reel afterwards, and we'll try to edit this video down to a speedier version. Let's get those eels with a little less inbred. Just a little bit. Oh my god, this is actually doing both really, really good and horrible right now. Alright, so rotate out the eel a bit more. I shouldn't be using the move brush for this. I should probably just be shadowing and trying to rotate it again using the deformals, but I don't want to do that right now. I want to just get it right. Yeah! Alright. This nose. This nose, right? And once we get this nose right, we'll be able to get the rest of the face right. to get some of this cheek fat back up. So sculpting up some more of the muscle areas and just like slowly removing where I don't think it's being ideal right now. Hitting the Alt button every now and again. Oh man, we're getting those subtle features now. Bringing them out. Okay, this is gonna work. Minus a few mistakes here and there. This is gonna be pretty useful. I gotta bring out this part of the jaw a little bit more in this part, and then we gotta bring out the lips. Look at this face. It's general structural. This is alright, we're getting there. The subtleness of the features is starting to come out, and we're starting to get some movement down in the face. General curvature, which is what we kind of needed. I need to bring down this nose though a bit more because it needs to follow the natural flow of the lips from the lower portion down. This is why I prefer doing more cartoony things, but I need to take some time to just study the anatomy, make sure that I understand the general proportions, and just keep working inside my head until it's there by default. Once I have that down, then I know my art will improve drastically on it. As you guys notice, I really don't use many other brushes except for the move brush right now. I'm just very, very intently and patiently moving it around to get the general shapes I need down. These lips are too high, so if you think about it, the mouth opens and closes, so I need to lower them down on the face, and that will definitely also probably bring down the nose a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the move brush here, and I'm going to just slowly start moving them down, starting off with big little chunks as I move down from the outside, working my way in, and changing up the proportions slightly as I go. This is something that I should have done right in the beginning. It would have saved me a lot more time on this sculpt, but I didn't. So now we have to suffer through it just a little bit. But with just these little taps and these little small movements, I should be able to get the lips in the right size and location on the jaw, because they should be in the middle between where it segments between the upper and lower teeth. teeth. And now the lips should curl within that space around the jaw of the mouth and where the teeth are. So you need to pull them out a bit more around the widths here, and the width here. Alright. Alright, we're going to add a little bit of higher detail now. So the next thing to do is to make sure there is a actual bridge in between where the and once I've done that, we're done. Alright, now that I've gotten some of those general features down, let me take a side look. You look at this. Now they have this weird kind of somber kind of look because I pushed the lips down too much. So what I need to do now is I need to bring up the upper portion of the lip like so, down the downward portion of the lip, and then get some of this expression that's been forced on via the mistake I made to be removed. I could play with it theoretically if I was in a cartoony, if I was trying to get something cartoony done, I would. Trying to do something stylized, I would. The full stylized, as I've said a million times, but I need to get better at these fundamental aspects of the facial anatomy, so that I can bring it into the more cartoony side of things, and so that I just know proportionally what's off and what's not, and so that I can play with it a lot more on the more smaller and more localized levels. Alright, those nostrils are too far forward. We gotta bring them back. And look at that. We've gotten most of that dissolved. This upper portion nose here, I should just dissolve it into. So one of the ways I can do that is one, by bringing down these noses so they're much rounder. I need to get this inner crease better, so I'm going to use the damn standard brush. And the nose probably should protrude a little bit more, actually. I don't know how to think about it. So, well, at least this nostril area should. So, maybe I don't need to make that groove. Maybe I just need to. Yeah, I just need to get the general shape down. All right. Yeah, look at it from the front view real quick. Tomorrow we're going to use a reference, not tomorrow, Friday or Saturday. So I'll bring a reference photo into this, and then we're going to use that. And then once I'm done doing that, either next week or the week after that, I'm going to do a collab lab type thing, slash pseudo shout out to another artist on here. Who's a lot more skilled and a lot more talented than I am, which is why I want to take a couple days to get some of the more likeness aspects of his art down before I take advantage of some of the more character aspects, because I want to do it right. At least that's my thought process right now. Anyway, that's looking pretty solid. Whew. I don't know what that beep was about. What time is it? Oh, we're getting there. I have like 10-20 more minutes before I have to go. But get ready to go. It'll be almost 9. 9's when I gotta go to work. So let's add a neck real quick. Let's add some eyes. I don't want to have this hue at the end of the day without eyes. Boom, 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 boom. I know, middle of the day around this time probably isn't the best for you guys. Figured it out. Alright, boom. Oh shit. Alright, geometry mode. There's mu1 world. Modify typology, mu1 world. I guess that works. X. Alright. Just recessed, I recessed way too far back. Still way too far back. Notice length is actually probably fairly accurate, but the amount of recession I have in it is not okay, especially for the design I have. So I need to fix that real quick. Damn, we're getting better every day on this stuff. Alright, we're getting this stuff taken care of. We might have to come back to this one, guys. We will. We'll have to come back to it when we get home. That's okay. I learned a lot from this one. I need to stop doing these live. Just start recording them and editing them. The amount of time it takes for me to continue my speech. Stop. Stop. Alarm. Cool. Now go back to the live. Probably isn't doing much for anyone. I just thought honestly, like you can get a lot of stuff uploaded. Also, I thought it was gonna allow me like a way to like interact with you guys, but it really doesn't. So probably just gonna do edited speed scopes for now on and some general motion movements. Maybe we'll do like a live session later if we get more people interested. Ditto as I get better at sculpting. But for right now, I think this is the last day of the live sculpt stuff. Okay. also gonna make the nose taper out more because the nose gets wider as it goes farther down on average. And the cheeks through, boom. Alright, I'm starting to fix on issues that are solved. Well, it has let go away. So those should be softer lines. We might just have to do a more exaggerated sculpt later on in the day, guys. Something that you guys can actually enjoy, because this is just not going as well as I'd like it to. I need to do studies, and I need to be able to produce content, and I want more of you guys on you. But also, actually, I didn't really start losing members until I started doing this live, so I think it really is just the live sculpts that are doing it on the Instagram. I'm hoping. Still staying above neutral, but I think the live sculpts, it's doing it, because I'm not good at these. You know, I'm not really mentally stable either. It's actually really hard to keep track of both trying to entertain you guys and trying to work on these sculpts, so I can't balance the two particularly well. We'll have to make something a little fun, a little more entertaining outside of this, because I do want to be able to release multiple types of content. I do want people to see my art, and I do want to be able to encourage it, yeah, as best I can. I'm just not there yet. I'm learning from this though. Alright. Let's get these down. And get this general space. Honestly, in proportions is one of my best sculpts. Oh shit. I'm always amazed by the people who watch it. Alright guys, we're going to take a little quick break from this, and we're going to, we'll finish it up actually. Yeah, we're going to take a break now. We're going to take a break, we're going to come back probably 6, 7, possibly 8, possibly 9. And I'll finish up this sculpt then. I'm going to hit quick save real quick, because it's just going to be easier that way, and then we're going to re-hit this back again later at the end. Alright, end stream.